Okay, here we're going to go this time on the Tadpoll for a Thursday morning. We have a very, very busy Thursday morning Tadpoll. We're going to be going all the way to Washington, D.C. to talk with Jimmy Jones Ansonius about Beef Month and see how things are going there. We're going to talk about a scam that's currently going on, and Bo Van Lunen will be with us for that. Small Business Week, Angie Wells will join us. Wizard of Oz, Sarah Rudd will be coming in. Nick Poles on the business training opportunity. That's going to be coming up. And then a quick mention about the blood drive next Wednesday in Phillipsburg for Phillips County. It's going to be at the 4-H building north of town at the fairgrounds out there. It starts at noon, and it's your opportunity to go out and help with the blood drive. And if you have always gone out, you're on the list. If you haven't, you can go out and they can check you out there. So again, that's next Wednesday. We want to be sure we mention that. We had Shelley Smith on last week. Okay, now we're going to see how we go to Washington, D.C. And Jimmy Jones Ansonius, what are you doing in Washington, D.C. this week?
Oh, well, I'm doing a little bit of everything, Tad. I've spent the last 2 days at American Farm Bureau Federation doing some work on a project called Target Food, where as a rancher, I came to Washington, D.C. and was really sharing my story about what I do as a cattle rancher in Kansas with people that are 2, 3, and 4 generations removed from the family farm and really don't understand the story of where their food comes from. So I've been doing some work on that. Today and tomorrow I'm at the Animal Ag Alliance Summit in Alexandria, Virginia, where different stakeholders from the animal agriculture industry come together and talk about the challenges that we're facing and how we get our story out to consumers about us raising a safe and abundant food supply for our consumers.
You know, I think it's a situation where out here where we live, everyone knows where the beef comes from and where the milk comes from and where everything. But back there, they just think it comes from the corner store, don't they?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's not uncommon for us to have home-raised beef in our freezers and know exactly where that beef comes from. And, you know, as I come back east, I find that beyond just getting it at the grocery store, you know, people get their information from food labels. And I've really had a cool opportunity to connect with some of these people and tell them about the things that we do on the ranch and explain to them what those labels mean and how that ties back to practices that we do every single day back home in Phillips County. So it's been a really cool opportunity to connect with consumers and tell our story.
Sure. And how many are there from Kansas with you this week? Any idea?
How many are there from Kansas this
week? How many are with you there? Yeah.
Oh, how many are with me here? Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. At the Animal Ag Alliance Health Summit here, I would say there's several hundred stakeholders.
Wow,
there's three of us that came out from the state of Kansas, but it's a very large deal. There's several hundred people involved.
It is. And do you have a chance to do any sightseeing, or is it mostly business?
Yeah, it has been mostly business. Last night, I did get to go down to the Kennedy Center and see Hamlet, which was incredible. Royal Shakespeare Company put that on, and it was pretty neat. It was a pretty creative interpretation of Hamlet. Having been an English teacher, I am a purist in every sense of the word, but I really enjoyed it. It was a cool production, great set, just very, very neat costuming, very cool experience, and it's pretty hard to beat the Kennedy Center.
I've been there quite a few times with the high schools in the spring. You know, they come back from this area with Barbara Dennis and Merlin, and I've had an opportunity to visit the Kennedy Center. That is a beautiful building. They have a lot of different venues there, and it's just a good opportunity to, if you're back there to see something, you had a chance to see Hamlet. That's great.
Yeah, it was great. Okay. It was great.
So what?
Anyway,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, my work back here in Washington, D.C. this week has really tied in nicely with the start of Beef Month. May is Beef Month. Here last week, Governor Collier declared Beef Month officially for the state of Kansas, which is really cool because, you know, we have well over 5 million cattle grown in Kansas that generate more than 7 billion cash receipts for our state. So it's a vital part of our economy. So to have a governor that acknowledges that, it's really pretty neat. And to have that opportunity to raise the awareness about beef and what we do is something that's pretty special in my mind for the month of May.
Sure, well, that's great. And you're going to be coming on here. You'll be back next week. You're going to come on live with us here. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what to do. We may have to do a little bit of cooking or talk a little beef nutrition or something like that. I don't know. There may be a snack involved when it's all said and done, Tad. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Anytime food's involved, I'm on board. So I'll just pass that along right now. What more do you have to do there in Washington before you head back?
Well, I'm going to finish up at the Animal Ag Alliance Summit. Just hearing some really great speakers. I heard a really interesting gentleman this morning that spoke about some research about consumers and food labels. And to me, it's a little bit scary that the average consumer is getting a lot of their information about their beef from a label rather than great sources like the Beef Checkoff and beefiswhatfordinner.com. And so really raising awareness with those consumers and the people that I'm getting to meet while I'm in Washington, D.C. as I speak and do some of the different things has really been meaningful and impactful that, there's a face behind that label. There's a face behind that cut of meat. And we take great pride in caring for our animals and raising the safest, most abundant food supply really in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very important, and I think you could talk to some of these network TV people too. They don't always know what's going on out there in the world either. I don't think in agriculture and so on. They're in the city, and they should come out and maybe visit the ranch or farm sometime and see what it's like out here.
Yeah, and, it's really been interesting because as I've had opportunities to connect with consumers, like in speaking engagements, they kind of come expecting, hey, I'm going to hear the message of agriculture. But I think some of the most impactful conversations I've had have happened with my Uber drivers.
Sure.
And have happened with the people that I'm just having general casual conversations with throughout the city. And it is just amazing to me. They can't believe that I drive 15 miles one way to go pick up a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of been a reality check for me that not everybody lives the way we do, but we have a wonderful way of life.
Yeah, it sure is. And having the opportunity to take Uber and Yellow Cabins, it's interesting talking with them because it's a whole different world. They have no idea there's anything west of the Hudson River or the Potomac, everything's back there.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to some of the misconceptions about beef. For many years, there was kind of this trend towards, red meat is bad. Well, really,
sure.
As far as beef is concerned, it is a great source of 10 essential nutrients, and a 3-ounce serving of beef provides 25 grams of protein. And talk about a great source of nutrition for our families as part of a good, healthy diet. You just really can't beat beef, and so I'm glad we have the opportunity in the month of May to celebrate that and kind of have some of those conversations.
Okay, well, I appreciate you talking. Anything else, and we'll look forward to you next Thursday. But anything else you want to bring up this morning?
Not really. I tell you what, in honor of May being Beef Month, I want to point out that the Beef It's What's for Dinner website has some really cool recipes. So, if you get like me and you get stuck in a rut, or either grilling hamburgers or fixing sloppy joes or just fixing tacos, beefiswhat'sfordinner.com right now has some really
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday here, and you have a good trip back.
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her maybe.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
okay, we did lose her. Oh, well, there we go. Well, anyway, we were finished with what we were going to talk about. We'll see Jimmy Joe here next Thursday. Why don't you come in, Bo, and sit down, and either chair, and we'll talk about something that's going on now. This time of year, about every other day in the mailbox, you see something from Publishers Clearinghouse, and you open the big envelope full of stuff, and if you get how much, $5,000 a week for your life if you do it. Okay, well there's and the reason why we're having you here, you are not here for Publishers Clearinghouse, but that's the name that people are using on the scam that's going on.
That's the latest one going on.
Okay, what's going on?
Well, I think they do their big giveaway next week, so that's kind of why they've chosen that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something new every year that they do, but basically what it boils down to is they're calling folks, and it's typically on the weekend, on a Saturday or Sunday when they know you can't call, a financial advisor of some capacity,
sure,
and telling you that you've won, and they're getting a lot better at being more convincing. They'll tell you that you've won, try to just strike up conversation with you, get as much information from you as they can. And the second you start to doubt them or say that, they'll say, "Well, don't you want the money?" And so they'll tug at your emotions and really
work on that.
really make you think that you've hit it big. And most of the times it's a couple of calls. The first call, they want you to feel comfortable, and then they call back, and then that's usually when they're calling, they're asking for your name, social security, all that stuff, and then they'll go a step further and say that you need to send them X amount of money for FDIC insurance, which we both know only applies to accounts, doesn't apply to lottery winnings.
That's done to the banks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they'll basically use a bunch of stuff to try to confuse you, and it's no different. It's just a new scam each year, but we just want to make sure everyone's aware. So.
Have you had some people in this area?
We've had two, and a third person was pretty sure that they were called, but they were able to shut it down. But we had two that they got as far as the second, and maybe even one of them had a third call or whatever before they. Like I said, it's pretty convincing, but.
They always say if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
That's exactly right.
And never give any information.
Nope.
Over the phone.
No, if you win, you're not going to have to give out your name or number. And then furthermore, as far as taxes and everything, we all know Uncle Sam's going to make sure he gets his before he lets it go. So you'd never have to pay in like that.
They'll come around, and as you see on TV, they knock on the door, you've won this. So that's the way it's going. You aren't being notified over the,
that's exactly
over the phone at all. So if you get that, just hang up, right?
Yep. The best you can do is just hang up.
Some people go, I can be rude. Well, you can be rude on something like that. I don't usually hang up on people. Once in a while, I'll get a call, and number one, you can't understand them.
Yep.
And number two, they don't use the right English. You know right away that there's something.
Yep.
I had a call one time from someone in South Africa. He had $30 million, but he couldn't take it out of the country. But if I would, he could use my name, he could transfer it to me.
Yep.
And then I would have $30 million, and he would come over here and get it.
Yep.
But I had to send him some money as a good faith thing.
Yeah.
Well, you just hang up on that.
Yep.
That doesn't work.
Well, and they're even getting better with the phone numbers.
Yeah.
I'll get a phone number, and it might be a 543 number,
That's another
and
thing.
it's either a telemarketer or something else.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
they're getting smarter, and it's too bad they're using all that wisdom for bad when they could be doing something better with it. But
So I guess it just doesn't have to be the publisher clearinghouse anywhere where it's just if they want the information and they say the IRS, there's one out on that too that they
Yep.
want stuff, and
Yep.
they're never going to do that.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
So just if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
True. And-
If you got any questions, get a hold of your banker. Get a hold of even if you don't bank it there, but you know that person, get a hold of them, run it past them, and
Sure,
they'll.
yeah.
Chances are they've heard of it or they're onto it, and you're not the only one going through it.
So it's not rude to just hang up. And,
Exactly.
And they probably sometimes they will call back, but and as you mentioned, that's a big thing. You used to be able to look at your caller ID, and it was a 1-800 or some number,
Yep.
and now there's a 543 in front of it. It's what looks like
Yeah,
a local call.
I get a lot from Holton, Kansas.
Yeah.
That must be the popular.
I guess Olathe. I get a lot from
Olathe?
Olathe too. For some, I
Yep.
just don't pay much attention to that. Or if I'm in a real bad mood, I'll pick it up and talk to them, and then say give them a hard time. Then I'll hang
Have
up.
a little fun.
Yeah, have a little fun. Okay, well, Bo, so just be careful because I'm up there. You see them working on the older people maybe more, or they don't know when they call if you're older or not, right?
No, they don't. And that's part of when they call. They're trying to ask questions. A lot of time they're trying to get well, who are you going to share the money with? And they're getting a family member's
Sure,
name,
yeah.
and then they'll in turn call the family member, or they'll say, well. If you say someone, well, what's that to you? They'll say grandma
Sure,
or something.
yeah, right.
They'll call her, in a week or two. And so they're trying to get as much information, maybe not to work on you, but to get to the next person.
Okay,
So-
then how's that information used by them? Is they to get into your accounts and so on?
yeah,
and
there's
credit cards and all that. And
yeah. If they got your name and social security, they can do wonders. Like you said, the IRS they'd use that tactic. Another popular one is they'll call and say that your computer is malfunctioning,
I got
and
one.
that if you don't have a computer, okay, well, our bad, and they'll hang up. But
Yeah, right, that
most people
happened.
have a computer,
Yeah.
and they'll say, well, let me jump on, and then they'll get on,
Yeah.
and you have a lot more personal information on your computer than you know. So,
I said, we understand your computers aren't working.
Yep.
I had one that called and I said, I don't have a computer.
Yep.
And then they hang up. You know, they don't
Yep.
even say anything. They just hang up and you don't ever hear from them again. you know.
yep, if you didn't call them, why, it's not right.
Okay. Bo, well, thanks a lot.
Yep.
I appreciate it. And hopefully just remember, you got to be careful on the phone calls there.
Absolutely. So,
And then the caller ID doesn't always indicate what's going to be at the other end there. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks a lot
All
for
right,
coming
thank you.
in.
Yep.
Bo Van Nuren with us this morning. I spent some time in New York and Washington with Bo several years ago, and we went back on the trip. In fact, he was my roommate with some of the other guys. We had a great time there. All right, who's next? All right, we're going to talk about my favorite movie. It's one of my top 5 movies of all time, along with Casablanca, and that's The Wizard of Oz. We'll talk with Sarah in a moment. Reminder that the program brought to you by all your friends at the Farmers State Bank in Phillipsburg, where interest begins the moment you enter the door. Interest in you, member FDIC. We appreciate Bo coming on with us this morning. Mapes and Miller, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Mid-America Real Estate, providing the best homes in the area for over 40 years. Blossoms and Butterflies, making beautiful flowers a part of your life. Sign Solutions, your one-stop sign shop, so much more. Madison Motors, they've been in business for over 70 years, and Rogers Associates, your local trusted choice agency. Sarah,
Yes,
good
sir.
morning. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
All right, I am just so excited about what you guys are going to do this summer. I saw, of course, I've mentioned this before. In 1939, when it came out, I saw that. I can remember going to see it at the theater in Garden City, Kansas, first time, and it was black and white, and then it goes to color, and it was amazing. And then for a while that was before they had the networks and everything, and it wasn't on. And I remember when I was in Goodland, one Sunday, one of the networks really said we're going to show it, and then from then on they kind of opened it up, and people now I think it's the eminent domain now. Anyway, so yeah, great. So in January I went to Hayes to see it down there, and there was a traveling group. They had three trailers of equipment they brought in. Brought the house in, and they even figure out a way to bring Glenda in from above down, and the monkeys, and then. A couple 3 weeks ago, Junction City, their local group did it, and I went down to see it there. So I'm just so excited. So what made you decide on
It's going to be a
Wizard
good show.
of Oz?
I make an attempt every year to choose a summer musical that has a lot of opportunity for kids to be involved. Because it's so much fun, and it's such a great introduction to music and acting and then all of the technical aspects backstage too, and costuming and makeup, and you really build a community of people who love theater that when we don't have community theater, it's
Sure.
hard, it's hard to make those relationships, and I personally have met people through community theater that I would never otherwise cross paths with. So it's a lot of fun, and so I choose shows that have those opportunities
Sure.
for kids to be involved. And last year we did The Little Mermaid, and there were lots and lots of kids in the cast. And we kind of threw around several shows for what to do this year, but again, that there's an important component of having kids able to be in the cast. And as you know,
Well, the Munchkins,
this
you
will
got
have
the Munchkins.
this will have Munchkins. So, but you know what? I'll be anxious to see how many of the kids who come and audition are familiar with the show at
Yeah,
all.
they probably, yeah.
So, I mean, they maybe have heard of it, but I'll be surprised if very many of them have seen it. So parents, have your kids watch this show so they know who the Munchkins are. But we really want to have people of all ages come out and participate. And here you go, Tad. I brought you an audition packet. I know you won't be in the show, but I would love to have you if you were willing. But you know what? Something new that we have this year is I have a crew packet.
Wow.
Every one of these shows has a huge number of people who are behind the scenes making it all happen.
Sure.
And so I think everybody who's interested in auditioning for the show is probably pretty familiar with what character they want to audition for. But I kind of wanted to talk about some of the crew members that we need.
Right, yeah.
So we need a stage manager, and this person they have to have their hands in everything, and they have to be super organized and really personable and be able to communicate well, and we need a couple of assistants, to help with that stage management. We need stitchers. We need people who can use a sewing machine well, who can construct costumes and alter costumes and things like that.
Sure.
I would say that at least 50% of the costumes that you will see on stage for this show will be made from scratch.
Wow.
And I mean, even last year for Little Mermaid, it was more than 50% of the costumes that you saw on stage were made from scratch for that show.
Sure.
And when people come to audition, we will measure them for costumes so that we can get started.
Sure.
Because it's quite an undertaking to make
Well,
costumes for
they're-
50 people, and some of those people are double and triple cast. So they have several characters, and that means hundreds of costumes. So we'll need people who can sew really well, who are skilled in that area. But that also includes students. If students have lots of sewing skill and they want to participate in that, then we're happy to have them. We'll also need some crafters and carpenters and people who want to help make props and paint things and construct set pieces. We don't have the benefit of being able to have the fly system with being able to fly Glenda in and those kinds of things. Those are some features that our theater is not built for, but we do have some creative solutions for those elements of the show.
And Junction City, they said it would cost them $9,000 for
It's
liability
crazy.
for the fly-in thing. And they did it well. I mean, if you hadn't seen the movie, you wouldn't know the way they brought in the way the monkeys are all. They're just hopping around, and that's the thing. They hop around a lot,
Yeah.
And no, it was well. They did it. So you really did notice it there.
And I think that's one of the really great things about being able to do community theater is that we choose a show, and even if it's an iconic show and everyone knows it. I mean, even last year with Little Mermaid, elements like how what about when we're in the water? How do we do that? And just being able to get a group of people together and think creatively about how do we create this illusion so that people can really sit in the audience and be convinced that that this is for 2 hours, that this is real, and that's what we aim to do.
And it's a lot of work. You mentioned you mentioned like the Soldiers of March or thing. They got the uniforms for them. You got to have you got for the. It's amazing. And then of course the big thing is the Tin Man getting a costume for the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Cowardly Lion. That's the three tough things.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's tough or not, whether you even going to try to make those, or maybe there's.
I think we're going to have kind of a mix. Some of the costumes we will buy when we can find costumes that we're happy with, that look good. Then we'll buy those costumes. Some costumes we'll make from scratch, and then other costumes, if we can find a place to rent, then we'll consider renting. And renting is always a challenge because sometimes you'll find some place that has a couple of costumes you love and a couple of costumes you don't love. But it's only if you're allowed to rent only the ones you love, or if you have to take the whole package. And so those are some things we have to kind of weigh out, whether or not it's worth it. But
Now, Hanson is having this for the students in June.
Yes, the Lovewell Institute. I do. I have encouraged every student I've come across that I know has any interest in theater or music at all. I have asked them, "Are you doing the Lovewell Institute?"
That's a great opportunity.
It really is. I mean, I've never had any personal experience with Lovewell Institute, but it sounds like an incredible opportunity. I think every student, again, who has even a remote interest in theater or music or even the production aspects should participate in that theater camp. I think that they're going to learn more things than even I know, and I wish I could be there. And but I really think it's going to be an amazing opportunity, and I hope that it's something that becomes an annual event.
And they have, I don't know, they had 7 as of last week, but I think it's. And I had more saying on talking about that, and so that's a good opportunity for if they even have any interest. Finally, they may after that say, "Well, I don't know what I'm that interested in." At least to get some information on that.
Sure.
Okay. How big is your cast going to have to be?
I think it varies, from
Depends
year
on
to
how
year,
many
and it will
munchkins you have and all that.
Sure. I think that we probably will comfortably have between 40 and 60. And I think that will range in age from last year, our youngest cast member was 4.
Wow,
and, and then it goes all the way up to,
Well,
everybody who wants to
wizard has a
participate.
little age on him. The wizard does.
Yeah, see, you would make a good wizard. Just think how many people would come and see this show if you were the wizard. I think we should get some votes on Facebook about who wants to see Tad be the wizard.
Well, now in the movie, the wizard doesn't sing, but on the Broadway musical,
Well,
that he does.
Let's take
He
a
did.
look
He
here.
sung at.
Look at that. Here we go. Cast of characters.
What's a wi-
Professor Marvel or the Wizard is a non-singing role.
Okay, well,
There you go.
okay. Because he's in that twice. He answers the door, and then just so you can tell, I know pretty much
Yep,
what's going
yep.
on.
You are Wizard of Oz expert. You're going to be our consultant on this show.
I
To make sure we're doing everything right.
Okay, all right. Well, I like the Orior. That's the thing I remembered from 1939. Why are they doing the Orior? What's that mean? So we're going to find out. if you tell me that.
Those are elaborate costumes.
Sure, oh,
Those,
yeah.
all the detail work on
right,
those. Yeah, those are some that if we can buy those, we will absolutely buy those because it will save us so much time and energy.
Okay. So when is your audition? What do you have to do?
We're having auditions tomorrow night from 6:30 to 8 and Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11. You only have to come to one of those. They're kind of a come and go. And here's what you can expect when you arrive. So when you come in, we're going to hand you an audition packet. And in that packet, there's some information about characters and the schedule and all of these things, what to expect. And then there are a couple of information sheets that the actor will need to fill out. And there's also a schedule conflict sheet because everybody is busy in the summer and sometimes we have camps or, baseball, things like that. So we need you to fill out that schedule conflict form. And then we're going to take a reference photo of the actor because I don't know everyone. We're going to take a reference photo of the actor, and then we're going to have them read for the part that they're interested in. We're going to have them sing for the part that they're interested in, and we'll measure them for costumes. And that's it. So they will go into, they'll go into one of the dressing rooms to read for me when they read their acting piece, and then they'll be, kind of tucked away in a corner when they sing. So you won't have to stand, in the middle of the stage all by yourself in front of a room full of people and sing or read. But we want to give everybody an opportunity to come out and feel comfortable and do it well. And sometimes it's easier when you're all by yourself to be able to do that audition when you've never done it before, in a smaller space. And then it's a lot of fun, especially if you're part of the Munchkins or you're part of the Ozians or, things like that, to be able to do those things in groups on stage. And, and like I said, we build a camaraderie and it's just, we all have a blast. So the audition is pretty simple. And I've got a couple of people who have some schedule conflicts. If they'll just contact me, we can work something out for, an alternate time to audition. But I'm hoping to get the majority of our, cast and crew to come through tomorrow and Saturday. And I'm meeting with a lot of the creative team tonight so we can make sure that we have everything prepared for auditions.
What are you going to do about Toto?
I don't know. I really have mixed feelings. I really think that Jim and Paula would not like me very much if I brought a real dog out there. If I could find a really well-trained terrier, then I would consider it.
Like I said, at the traveling group, they had Toto trained, alive, but they did it real well down there. They had a Toto doll, and everything worked out.
Sure.
They didn't have a Toto to pull the curtain back. Pay no attention to the man behind it. And but they did it well, and so I don't think there's any Totos out there.
I mean, if somebody has a great idea, feel free to shoot me a message.
Sure.
But
but
I think we're probably going to lean a little more toward an artificial Toto.
She carried Toto down in her basket. That all the time down there, so they didn't have to worry about running around and everything. And of course, Well, okay, so tomorrow night from when and where is it?
This is going to be at the Huck Boyd.
Okay.
And if you enter at the over by the Train Museum, then we'll be able to guide you through everywhere you need to go, and we'll make everything pretty seamless.
Okay, and when is the time?
Tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8.
Okay.
And Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11. And again, you only have to be at one of those.
Okay, all right. And do this because it's got a great show and it'll be a good opportunity. I have stage fright. That's a problem. I mean, I just have the only thing, I was a conductor in the Music Man. That wasn't much to do there. And in Arsenic and Old Lace, I was the one that played Theodore Roosevelt charge up the stairs, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I was so scared before that show. I said, well, you talk all the time on the thousands on the radio. It's different if you're reading and trying to remember,
Sure.
So anyway.
It's one thing when you get to ad lib, and another when you have to remember lines specifically.
Right, yeah. So anyway, it's a great opportunity, and I'll be there for every show. Maybe not behind there, but at least I'll be there.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll have you come to some of our rehearsals, and you'll have to give us pointers.
Okay. You're serious, really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
who knows the show better than you?
well, I do know that. It's one of them. Like I said, top 5 movies of all time. That's the interesting to see, because Dorothy. That's going to be an interesting part because you can't.
You know what? I think we have lots of young ladies who are very interested in the part, and I think that we're not going to have any problem at all finding a good Dorothy.
Good. Get a chance to sing
Yeah.
with a rainbow and follow the
Yeah.
yellow brick road and all the other things.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, I could be the witch maybe, but that didn't work out.
I've had more people tell me that they're interested in being the witch, men and women.
The good one or the bad one?
The Wicked Witch.
The Wicked Witch?
Everybody wants to be the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
And that's a non-singing role, too.
I know it. Yeah. And have you ever seen Wicked?
I have not.
I
want to.
I saw Wicked. I've seen. I just for some, and I'm really into. Of course, that's before the Wizard of Oz. That's how the witch got bad and everything.
Sure.
And if I had my choice of several others, I probably would. I just did. A lot of people, everyone I talk to like Wicked. That's not one of my top things.
You didn't
to
care
sing.
for it?
I didn't really care for it. No song you could sing like you. But anyway, that's
Sure,
one
sure.
for some. Not like Phantom or whatnot. Sarah, thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we hope people just really show up tomorrow
Yeah.
night and then Saturday. Might make your job easier, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, sir.
Sarah Rudd. And we'll have you on here more, a bit closer. And maybe
yes.
have some of the people, maybe the Cowardly Lion on and do that.
That will be fun.
Okay, all right. All right. Next, we're going to be talking with Nick about a business training opportunity. But reminder, the program also brought to you by the Phillips County Health Systems, Olive Mobile Memorial Chapel, Stephen E. Rush, your State Farm agent, Sonic Drive-In. Like us on Facebook to see their Sonic deals. Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street, where the roads are paved with opportunity. Farmers and Ranchers Outlet and J&R Highback are. Their other sponsors who make it very enjoyable on a Thursday morning to come in here and talk with different people. You can see we've already talked about scams this morning, the Wizard of Oz, and what's going on in Washington. And Nick is with us this morning from Economic Development to talk about, and I got, the note I had from you was on the business training opportunities. That we're going to talk about this
That's
morning.
right. So we're doing a joint venture. Economic Development and E-Community for Phillips County are doing a joint venture with Rooks County Economic Development and E-Community. And we're providing 2 really great learning opportunities coming up on May the 16th, Wednesday, May 16th. And they're geared towards retail and service sector industries. So the first training opportunity, and these are being done by an internationally renowned business speaker who has worked with the likes of Disney, Goodyear, Nordstrom's, etc.
Oh, yeah.
So she knows her business, and we're bringing her in from Colorado. And she, the very first session is how to compete in an Amazon world. And what this is for local businesses, especially retailers, who are looking at the potential or are already doing online sales of how to get their product out there, how to market it well, and how to actually not look at Amazon as competition, because there are other ways that you can sell without having to worry about what the big people are doing. So Really, it's a dog-eat-dog world at the moment with retail and online sales are really
Well,
that
they really came
cornerstone.
in with this Christmas season. They really came in on that, and how after a lot of retails, the chains are having problems now that have stores in all the major cities.
That's
Just
right.
people aren't coming in anymore.
Yeah, even some of our larger department stores
Yeah.
around the U.S. are closing because of the presence
Sure.
of the online sales. So this is a really great session to educate how you can get your product out there and how you can compete without having to worry about people like Amazon. So a really fantastic session there.
Great opportunity.
It is. It really is. And then the second session that they're doing in the afternoon, the same day, they're titling Meet the Millennials, the Customers to Change It All. Now, as we know, the millennial generation, the younger generations have different spending and buying habits to the more senior generations. They do a lot more in the way of online sales, but also their retail spending habits just in a conventional store is very much different. And what this does is it targets what those spending habits are, how they purchase, what their purchasing power is. Because within the next couple of years, the millennial demographic is going to be the largest spending demographic in the world. So if our retailers and services aren't catering to them and aren't looking at them and saying, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you need? And providing that, then you're missing out on a very large sector of the market. So the second section here, as I said, Meet the Millennials, the Customers to Change It All. It looks at social behaviors, needs, and profiles of this
The
consumer.
millennials, they grew up with the computers and everything. They, the computers still, I look on and I look at something on Amazon. You'll get on Google or something, and Amazon has it. I don't know how to do this, so I go.
Yeah.
As I think the older, and I know some older people can do that, but I like to go in the store and buy stuff and see what you're getting, and if it's, the size is right, instead of, getting the size in instead of back and forth. But I mean,
And different age demographics have different
Sure,
spending
right,
habits.
sure they do, yeah.
There are some people that prefer to go into a store and they prefer to physically touch and
Right,
pick
yeah,
something up
sure.
and then purchase it. Then there are others that have that "I need it now" mentality.
yeah.
They would like to shop online, but they want it today. So
Right,
instead, they'll drive a distance. They'll pick that product up today
right.
and bring it home. And then more and more, it's got to the point that you can order online and have something put on your doorstep in 2 days' time.
Yeah,
And people are willing to wait that 2 days now because the shipping
Sure,
is more
yeah.
streamlined. Again, it's something that's not going to change. It's something that, as a society, we're going to have to adapt to. So it's a way that we can cater to that as businesses and say, okay, we realize that there are changes here. How can we adapt our business to fit this model so we're catering to every retail demographic?
And any business person or local to me, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Learn. I won't say Amazon's your enemy, but I learned how you can compete with someone that does
Exactly.
something like that.
Exactly. Now, the great benefit of this is we're offering it to anybody within Phillips and Rooks County free of charge. This has been
Free, wow,
free of charge. This has
wow.
been underwritten by Network Kansas through the e-community program, and Phillips and Rooks County have gone in on this
Wow.
together. And we're bringing this opportunity. Lunch is going to be provided as well. So the first session, the Surviving in the Amazon World, is Wednesday, May 16th from 9 till 12 p.m. Okay, so it's 3 hours in the morning. Then there's an hour break for lunch between 12 and 1. And then the second session, Meet the Millennials, the Customers to Change It All, is from 1 till 4. Now, everybody is welcome to attend one session, both sessions, attend the lunch as well. But although there's no cost, we do require a registration. The registration is on the phillipscountykansas.com website.
Okay.
So just click the link. All you have to do is put in your name and the fact that you want to attend one session, both sessions, or what have you, and that's it.
Are you
But
limited? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, at this point, we're not limited. We have a facility that we think will be able to cater to the amount of registrants that we're
And where will
expecting.
it be?
The session is held at the Stockton City Hall.
Okay.
Because it was a joint venture between Phillips and Rooks, Phillipsburg, Stockton, Plainville, each equal parts in it. We thought Stockton would be
Two
the
for
middle
one,
ground.
2 to 1, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it would be
That
an
makes
equal
sense, yeah.
distance
Sure.
for everybody to
Yeah.
travel. So Stockton City Hall, which is located 115 South Walnut in Stockton. As I say, lunch is provided at 12. Fantastic opportunity, and as a free opportunity to the community. It is open to outside of Phillips and Rooks County as well, but we are really targeting
Sure,
the
well,
businesses
sure, right.
within
Well,
Phillips and Rooks.
That's great opportunity to if you're in business particularly and scratch your head every time you hear about Amazon or something like that, or the millennials, and to help them get their share of the market, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And
Exactly.
so how can they do that again? If someone like me who isn't that, could you stop by the office
Of course.
and give your name there?
Yeah, I gladly take a registration either in the office or over the phone. But for those that are able to log on to
Sure.
the website,
Right. That's the way it goes easy.
PhillipsCountyKansas.com, we have a link on the homepage, and all
Okay.
you got to do is click the register link.
All right.
And
And if they're watching or listening in Rooks County, can they do it through YouTube?
Yes, they
Okay,
can. Yes,
okay,
they can.
okay.
So, and the only reason that we're requesting the registration is
We
so we
don't
have
know
an
how
idea
many.
of how many people, so how many lunches to provide, etc. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic deal. We've already had a number
What's
of
the date
signups.
again on that?
It's Wednesday, May 16th.
Okay.
The first session is 9 till 12. Lunch is 12 till 1, and then the last session is 1 till 4.
If you'd like to stop in next Thursday and last minute look at that, you
That'd be
able
great.
to do that? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll plan on that then. We can talk to them more about that.
Fantastic.
Anything else going on?
Oh, we've got a lot going on at the moment. It's been an incredibly busy
Question,
month.
what's about, I get questions every once in a while about the child care.
The childcare. Oh, it's definitely a labour of love. I tell you that. We are as when we last spoke. We are still waiting on the IRS now. We just to release the information. We did have a letter come through from them 2 days ago, and they requested 3 words to be changed in 1 paragraph
Oh,
before they'll give
gee.
us our designation. So it sounds like we're really very, very, very close.
Gee.
But as soon as that's done, then we'll be
Words
turnkey ready.
change, right? Okay.
Yeah. So it actually got to the point that I was spending too many hours of the week on the
Well,
phone
sure,
to the
yeah,
IRS.
right,
So I'm very fortunate to say that Congressman Marshall's office, Roger Marshall's office, helped us in contacting the IRS and sorting out the situation, and so from there we seem to be on a positive note again now. So hopefully within the next week or so we'll have that
All
letter,
right,
and
all right,
then
well, very good.
we'll be ready to go. So we'll definitely come in and talk at
We can
that
talk
point
about
too.
that. I'll
so.
cross that in. And you said, Vinny, what else? Anything else you want to touch on?
We've got a lot. We're working with a number of local businesses at the moment on different planning stages with them. Some are doing some updates to existing businesses. Some are looking at new businesses, and we're working with some community organisations as well. Just a great deal
That's
going
great.
on.
Well,
So we'll put some information out on some of these projects very, very soon. And there's a couple of in the works. There are a couple of programs that PCD is working on, which are going to be a great benefit to the community if we can get the T's crossed and the I's dotted. But
Right.
Hopefully within the next month we'll be able to release those to the community
Okay,
as well.
very good.
And those are fairly exciting. So
You might plan on next Thursday coming in and talking on about that.
we'll do that.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming in. A question.
Yes.
Are you going back to England for the wedding?
What way? I'm not. No. That's. I go back to England purely to see my family.
Yeah,
But,
you're going back for the, I saw on TV last night that there's packages for $50,000 to go back, go back to see the wedding and for $50,000.
I know it's crazy. I have to say I was working in Kansas City a few years ago when Prince William and Kate got married.
Yeah.
And it seemed that there was more shutdown of business and enterprise for everybody to watch this wedding here than there was in England. So we have a lot more in the way of monarchists and royalists here than we might think we do. But
And, it's all changed. Back in the 30s, Windsor, and it was, he had to abdicate his throne. Well, you know all about that, because he wanted to marry a commoner. That's all changed now. I mean,
Yeah.
England has changed a lot on who the royalty can marry and all that.
That's very true, and it's definitely an oddball institution. But
And of course, he had a birth in a royal family last week, I think, a couple weeks ago, and so.
Yeah, it's fun. I think England enjoys the pomp and circumstance of it all, but
Well,
yeah,
well, it's that's part of it. I think
it's our heritage. So.
Were you ever at Buckingham Palace when the guards? Did you ever go watch the guards?
Changing of the guards.
Changing
Yeah.
the guards. They really all that strict, and they don't talk and all that.
Yeah, it really is. And funnily enough, the last time I took my family back there, Tammy and the children, we went down to Windsor Castle, and it happened to be when the Queen was in residence.
Wow.
And we were walking out of the gates down the Royal Mile towards the race course down there, because Royal Ascot was on. And just as we were walking out of the gates open, and out comes a big old 1930s Rolls Royce with the Queen of England in it.
Wow.
So my children, before the age of, I guess, 7 years old, they've already
That's great.
been within feet of the Queen of England.
Wow.
So they got a kick out of it.
Well, very good. I appreciate it, Nick. We'll see you next Thursday. Hope people really
I
take
appreciate
advantage.
that.
It's a great opportunity.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next Thursday. We'll bring you up to date, and hopefully
Sounds
we have
good.
a full house for you.
We'll do that.
Okay, fine.
Thanks, Ted.
Nick Pohl's with us this morning, talking about things going on in economic development. Also, reminder, I think probably next is going to be coming in. I think we've talked to everyone except Angie. I think that's Angie. I think I recognize Angie there. All right. The program brought to you by the First National Bank and Trust, proudly supporting Panther Athletics. Okay. From our sales floor to your delivery door, come see Jim and Terry at all of Bobby Furniture and Appliance, where we provide gracious living for less. Hope you've got something to eat in there.
I do.
Professional Family Eye Care. See Dr. Junman for all of your eye care needs. Coombs Trucking, you call, we haul. Wyman Firestone Tire Sales and Service, back in youth of Phillips County, and Biggs Insurance for all of your auto, home, business, and farm insurance needs. Before I get involved with what's going on with you, are you going to try out for anything on the Wizard of Oz?
I just told Sarah that I might try out for the Good Witch.
The
Do you
Good
think I
Witch,
could be the
Glenda.
Good Witch, or
Glenda.
should I be the
Yeah,
Bad
you
Witch?
can be the Good Witch.
Okay, I'll see. I don't
Well,
know.
I
I've
don't
never
mean
done
anything,
flight.
but you could be the Bad Witch too, probably. I don't mean that.
Well, I probably could. You ask my kids, I probably could.
You
So
could be Annie M.
I could be anything I wanted to be, right?
Okay, you're right. Yeah. Annie M. But there's three major women's parts on
Really?
there. Yeah, the
Really?
Good, the Bad Witch, and Annie M.
I'd probably have to, instead of doing the lines, I'd probably have to make up stuff so that I can just remember what I'm doing, because I'd be nervous.
Okay.
I don't know why. On
Okay.
a stage or like at church or anything, or like
Sure.
I'm lector or whatever, I get really nervous.
Yeah.
But like doing stuff like this or with you, whatever, I can just
Well,
do
I
whatever.
have problems. I was just telling Sarah, I get stage fright because I'm afraid I'm going to forget my parts. You know.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, maybe that's what it is. If I'm reading something like at church and you
have
can
no
tell my
problem with
voice and it's just kind of like whatever, but things like this or anything, I'm
I am,
fine.
yeah, but I am too. But you get me if I have to remember something. Anyway, so is it wash day today?
No, it's not
Okay.
wash day, but it is National Small Business Week. So
Wow.
take a treat. I've been around town
Really?
and still got a lot of places to go,
Wow,
but I'm
so
handing
I
out
can
treats.
take a treat in there?
You take
Okay.
a treat. Yes, grab something.
Can I look and pick out what I want?
You
I want
can.
Snickers. I
You
like
want a Snickers? Okay, so read what the Snickers says.
No Snickers intended. You are the best. Phillipsburg Chamber, Main
That's
Street.
right. And this one is You Are the Reason. Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street is awesome.
Wow.
And
You got a research there. Okay.
this
Reason.
is
Okay.
mounds. We have mounds of appreciation for you. And Butterfinger says, thanks are so much butter since you became a member. Thank you.
Wow.
And then we got the mints. Thank you for your commitment to Phillipsburg Chamber and
M-I-N-T.
Main Street.
Wow.
And this one says, M&M, Much and many thanks for all you do. We really appreciate you. So,
Okay,
just
wow.
a few things, and this one says, is a take 5. Have you ever had a take 5 bar?
Yeah.
Okay, so take 5 and relax. We appreciate you, Phillipsburg Chamber Main Street.
So you're going around and
I'm
people
going
pick
around
them
to
out?
our members, and I'm telling them how much that we appreciate them,
Wow.
and just we could not be a Phillipsburg Chamber Main Street without them. And so, just wanted to show them our thanks and how much I'm out and about, and just
Wow.
thank them a lot.
Is that next? Is this Small
That's
Business Week?
this week.
Okay.
So I'm doing some different things, and on Facebook yesterday, I was "Where's Angie?" All around town. So I had some pictures, and you got to if you fill out where I'm at, and it's correctly, then we'll put you in a drawing. And next week, I will take someone to lunch.
Wow.
So you'll have to play because you're a member.
Okay.
And you'll have to play because you're a member. So
Okay,
if you're a
wow.
member of Phillipsburg Chamber Main Street, make sure you play Where's Angie and
Oh, okay.
sign up. And if you get all 10 locations correct, you're entered into a drawing. And then if I draw your name out, or if the board draws your name out, then you and I will have lunch dates.
Okay, all right. Order what
So,
I want. If I
Order
win,
what you want. That's right. We'll go to lunch.
Okay.
So whatever day
Where I wanna
next
go?
week. Yeah, wherever you want to go
All
next
right.
week, as long as they're a member. It's always about members.
Oh, they have to be okay.
They have to be a
right,
member.
okay.
So it's
The stage door down in New York wouldn't work.
probably not, unless you're gonna fly us there. Then maybe we could get away with it, but I don't
Okay,
know.
all right,
So,
all right, very
but
good.
yeah. But
Okay.
anyway, so that's National Small Business Week this week, and I just want to say I appreciate all of our members, and I love my job. If you
No.
can't tell.
No, I couldn't tell that at all.
And so it's just we just keep going and going and going, and we have Riverless coming up, and we have different things. So
Who worked on no Snickers intended? You are the best.
I looked all these things up, and then I made them and taped them on there, and
Take 5. That's an easy one. Take 5 there. What was the commitment
yep,
and reason? You're the reason
Mm-hmm.
and mounds and
yep.
M&M's much and many and butter.
Thanks
So
for
much,
so much
better.
butter.
Butter. Okay.
Butterfingers. So yeah, but that's just some different things that I'm doing this week. Tomorrow I'm going to be kind of in and out of the office, but because I have a graduate, so he's graduating. I'm
That
really
is
excited.
right, isn't it? Coming up.
Yes, so this Sunday. Yep,
Wow.
he's graduating. So I'm kind of in a lot of emotions right now.
So,
like
I can
doing
imagine.
different
Yes,
things.
yes, I
but
remember.
My only boy.
Oh,
My
wow.
only boy. Got
Really?
2 girls and a boy and then another girl. So yeah, but we have Kristen for 2 more years, and I was just talking to her last night, and I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't know what I'm gonna do, but because
Well, let me tell you, when both my boys went away to college, when they went
Mm-hmm.
away, it's not all bad.
right, really,
No, it isn't all. It's not all bad. I mean, it's nice. Not saying that they were great there and everything. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, you miss it. The 1 o'clock coming in and all that kind of stuff. But no, it's you'll learn that this. Then you look forward to them coming home.
oh, I bet, yeah.
look
By
for-
the time that Kristen goes, I'm hoping that have some more grandbabies
Sure,
around
yeah.
and all that kind
That
of
just
different
starts
stuff.
all
so
over again.
It starts all over again.
Yeah,
I love
starts-
it.
it
So
starts all over again.
I could have babies like all the time. I am a baby person. I love babies. So yes, it's fun.
Okay.
But anyway, so like I said, I appreciate everyone that is a member of Phillipsburg Chamber Main Street. And
This
one
is
more
great.
thing I want to talk about is our CVB planners. We talked about the barn quilts and stuff.
Sure.
And we have them all spoken for, and I've already got some in
Really?
the office
Wow,
that people have
good.
already made, and they are beautiful.
Oh,
and they're
barn
just going to
quilts,
add.
that's a great idea.
Yes, they're just going to add so much to our downtown area where the planters are, and they're going to be beautiful.
Every time, I looked at a park yard, looked at it over there on the building there, that, and then of course on the Sawyer on the west. That's just great. It really addresses
It does, doesn't it? It's really, really neat. So you'll have to take a road trip and go to all the other
Right,
ones in
to
all the
do
other
that.
towns because they're really pretty, really,
Okay.
really neat.
Yeah.
So, but that's all I got today, Tad.
How,
so.
how did the cars? Car
It went okay. We had some people from Norton. We had some people from Orleans, Nebraska. We had, I don't know, some other people from other towns and
Sure.
stuff that came in. I set up town. We had it at Sonic, and so we had the brown bag special. Some of them ordered that, and then we had I went to Caitlin's because she lives on State Street, so
Oh,
I got to
sure.
sit there and watch all the cars go by. So it's really neat to sit
Wow,
there and
sure
watch
is.
them. And I had a car pull in to her driveway when I was sitting there. They're like, "Come on!" And so I got to go ride with Doyle and Kelly Bull. They picked me up and
Yeah.
Hunter, and we got to
Wow.
ride for a while in their 31. I think it's a Model A or something like that. It was one of Ronnie Kester's his first car.
First car?
Yes,
Wow.
first car, and Doyle got it, and so that was a lot of fun. And then they took me back, and then I made Caitlin go with Blair, and so
Sure.
they went and they rode, and Blair just talked the whole time. She's 3, and she just talked the whole time, and it was just so cute.
That's
but
great,
the kids
yeah.
loved
Sure,
it. So
yeah. Oh,
yeah, it
that's
was
good.
really nice.
That's
It's
great.
nice, and we'll have another one in September, and so hopefully we can get some more people, and I think it's just a really neat
Right,
neat
and-
thing to do.
And Rivers Festival's coming up.
Riverless is coming up, so please come in and get your applications so that you can, or not applications, but just your entry forms and stuff, so we can get you. I can get you on the list. And we have food vendors available, food places available. We got crafts things available. We'll have the golf ball drop again this year.
Yeah.
We got the inflatables already ordered. We got the virtual reality roller coaster coming. So
Did you ride that?
I did.
What's that like?
It's awesome.
Is it
It's
like
awesome.
a real roller
It
coaster?
is. You put these goggle things on,
Yeah.
and you are sitting there, and it's kind of like you're actually moving, but you're in a seat, and they
Yeah.
buckle you in, and you're going, and it's just really cool. It's really neat. So I did the roller coaster, and I've done Santa's sleigh, and so yeah, it's really neat that Jeff made that up, and he's got that going, and he travels all over.
Sure.
So
Okay. Well,
it's
that's
pretty
great.
neat.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
May I
Take
keep one
your-
of those?
Yeah, take your Snickers.
keep
You
my
want your Snickers?
Yeah.
Rachel, what do you want?
Reason.
A reason. All right. You. Oops. Sorry.
All
you are
right,
the
thank you.
reason.
Do you have more places? Or
I
you-
do.
Okay.
I do. You know me. I have to keep going, going and going and going. So.
We'll see.
All right. Have a
Thank-
great day.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Angie.
everybody.
Yeah. Do what?
Go ahead.
Hey.
Can you ask about the CDBG
The what?
survey?
Hey. Let's talk about the survey, the city survey.
Oh, he's not out, Lance?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna talk with Lance, the mayor. Okay, we'll talk about the CDBG
Okay,
then.
okay.
Lance was around there, I was gonna have him come. We talked about it last week. I got my water bill yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I've already paid it and I already turned my CDBG. Be sure you do that. If you're on city and you've got that envelope and it says bill enclosed, take the bill out, of course, and take care of that.
Right.
But be sure you fill out that survey.
It is what I took out of it. It is very important because that is how we get funding back is by the surveys. Is that correct?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so
From CDBG, from the government.
right, so everyone that fills that out, then they look at the survey and a percentage of your whatever your income is, and I mean it's
Right.
it's not going to be public. It's
No,
not.
it's not a
It's not a
public
public thing. So whatever it is, and then the city gets income,
Sure.
right?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
and for big income. I mean,
Right.
there's a big, to help with roads and maybe
Yes.
sewers and water lines, and I think the city has to make up 20% of it, I think.
Okay.
But the rest, 80%, I think the number they threw around last week was $800,000, I think.
Wow.
On something just to help the city, and it's very, very important.
It
and
is very important.
They need a lot of surveys
Yes.
back, so don't just toss it and say, I don't want to do that, I don't want anyone to know what I make and all that.
Right.
And it doesn't tell what to make. They have, and if you guys already looked at it, but be sure when you pay your bill, just take it in, because I understand if you don't fill one out, someone's going to be calling and,
Right.
and being sure you get that.
Yeah.
It's very important. Community Development Block Grant, and we've had them before,
Yep.
and they've helped the city, and it's not any extra tax money or anything. It's just available money that's
Right.
available.
Right, and it's not that hard to take 5 minutes and fill
No,
that out. I
no.
mean, I don't even know if it took you that long. I haven't had a chance to fill mine out yet because
Didn't
I've
take
been
me that
doing
long,
candy.
no,
But
no.
just to fill it out, turn it in, when you go pay your water bill, or you just drop it off at the city. I mean, even if you can't drop it off at the city, if you want to seal it up and drop it off at the Phillipsburg Chamber Main Street office, I'd be more than happy to take it and take it to the city. No one's going to look at it.
Yeah.
It's your ownership, your paper, and so, but it's so important, and I hope that we get a lot of surveys, more so than we've ever had before. So please,
They say
please do it.
20% return is good. Well, we need a lot more
We
than
need
that.
more than that. That's right.
A lot
We
more
do.
needed because they have to 50, and they've got percentages and so on. So if you've got a city water bill and the sewer and the trash, and what's that other piece of paper in there? And there's a letter with it explaining what the survey's all about. So
And
do it.
if you didn't get one, I just had talked to someone and they didn't get one in their letter.
Really?
And so if you did not get one, I'm sure that they have copies
Oh, yeah,
up
they
there.
do,
And
yeah.
so just go and pick one up, take the time, just fill it out. It's not going to take hardly any time at all, and turn it back in. And we just would really, really appreciate it a lot,
There's
because
a lot of things
we
going
just want
on.
to keep going and going and make this city better.
Better,
I mean, that's what we have to do. We have to make the city better, and it takes all of us to do that.
And you're in competition with all the other cities in the
That's
state
right.
of Kansas too, so be sure you fill that out and turn
Right.
it in. It's
Yep.
easy, just go by the drive-in window and give it to them.
Yep, they'll
They'll
take
give you a
it.
big smile and
That's right.
go on.
That's
and
right.
They're really happy to see those surveys.
Oh yeah, I'm
About
sure.
as happy as you pay your water bill. They're happy to see you pay the water bill too. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, and our water bill's going up because
no.
we were having
Yeah, I
to
know,
mow
yeah,
or
yeah.
water the grass, so they're
Okay.
really happy. But
Oh, well,
yeah.
thank you. I was going to have to talk to the mayor, but he was around here, but wasn't here. So okay.
You have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, no, I don't.
No?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'll be there.
Well,
I'll be there Sunday afternoon to watch graduation. you know.
Okay.
Maybe I know I have a lot of people who I know.
57 kids.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
How many were in the class you graduated?
Oh my, I don't know. I don't remember. That was a long
I
time ago.
I was 210 were my
Woo!
Garden City.
That's a lot.
It was a Garden City.
Wow. No, I graduated from Nickerson High School in Nickerson, and we had kids from Hutchinson come and North Reno and South Hutch and all
Sure,
that. So
yeah,
it was
okay.
our school was, not just Nickerson kids, but I can't even remember. That
Yeah.
was so long ago, it seems like, but it just,
It was. We had a big graduating class.
But this class is one of the biggest, I think, graduating class in a long, long time, and so it's pretty exciting. And then yesterday they walked through the grade school.
I know it. I saw
and
that.
the middle
Yeah,
school.
she was out there taking.
Yeah, and that was amazing. And then and Rachel, thank you so much for everything you do as far as taping them, because I texted her the other day because I wasn't able to go to the awards thing, and I was like, "Are you taping that?" Because I was in Hayes doing a commercial on Next Tech about North Central Kansas,
Oh, okay. Wow.
or Northwestern Kansas, and so the Travel Council. So I wasn't able to be there, and so just watching what you do, it makes all of our mamas and daddies so happy. So thank you so much for everything, and it's just. It's so nice to have. Sometimes you like this, sometimes you don't. So, but when she does this kind of stuff, we like it. So, thank you.
And I'm not surprised they used for a commercial either.
Well,
Can't wait
yeah.
to see that. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It'll be. I don't know. I just like being on TV. I
Okay,
don't
all
know.
right,
Or the radio.
all right, fine. Thank you. You go out and
Thank you.
distribute the
Okay,
candy
all right,
out there.
I will.
All right. Okay, is that it? Is that okay? I didn't know they had anyone stop by, because people could stop by. Anyway, thanks again for everyone who came on this morning, and we had a busy one. And again, you've heard the names, you've seen the names of who make it possible for us to do this. And again, I thank Rachel too for. We get together and determine. We do it more text, I think, than anything else. Where are you today? And someone wants to be on the show, and we do it back and forth that way. But she takes care of everything. I'm glad we went all the way to Washington, and we figured out how to do that this morning. Jimmy Jo will be with us next week in person. She said snacks. She mentioned snacks, so that right away, I'm going to have to be here for sure next Thursday. And Saturday, we've already talked with several. We talked to Logan and haven't heard back yet on whether they can be on. We know the track will be on. Golf is gone again. I talked to Keith the other day, and they're somewhere. And Donna Jarvis, the tennis club, tennis team is having a drawing for something. She's going to be there Saturday morning with the drawing on the Sports Talk. So we're keeping Rachel busy. And again, we'll see you next Thursday morning here on the Tadpoll. Thanks for watching.